Apple just announced their entire new lineup of iPhones, so we have some great upgrades coming to the iPhone 17, an all-new iPhone Air, and an interesting new look for the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. This is a dummy phone, by the way, but definitely subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that I will be posting when my new phone arrives. They started off with the iPhone 17, and I think this is going to be the phone to get for most people this year. The design looks basically the exact same that we had with the previous year, so the back looks the same and the button layout and all of that. We do have some new colors though. So now the iPhone 17 comes in black, white, misty blue, which is absolutely gorgeous, sage, which I also really love, and then lavender. You've probably heard other people say this as well, but I just wish we had these color options on the Pro models as well. They're just so gorgeous, and I would have loved to have these on the Pro models. There are also some smaller design changes which you might not have noticed. So for instance, the screen is now 6.3 inches compared to the 6.1 inch that we had with the previous year's model. So this is really nice. They just basically made the bezels thinner, which is always a welcome change for any phone. The screen is also a bit tougher now that they introduced the ceramic shield 2, so this is really nice. It's going to help a lot with making the screen more scratch resistant, so this is obviously also a really nice option if you're not going to be using a screen protector, which I still think you should. So yeah, the screen is just a bit tougher, and also the body of the phone is now again aluminum. We did have titanium for like 2 years from the iPhone 15 Pros, but now we're back to aluminum because they say it's better for managing heat, and that in turn helps with battery life. So yeah, we are back to that. Another reason that I think this will be the phone to get for most people this year is because of the improvements that they made that we've been asking for. So now the screen on the phone will now have 3000 nits of peak brightness, which is the same as with the Pro models, which is really great. And also we now have Pro Motion on the iPhone 17, so that means it can run up to 120 Hertz, which I know a lot of people have been asking for, and this is just really great that this is now also on the base model for the iPhone. They also improved the battery for the iPhone 17 compared to last year's model, so now you will be able to get 30 hours of video playback time, which is 8 hours longer than what we previously had. And they also improved the charging speed, so it's supposed to be able to get 50% charge in like 20 minutes if you're using, of course, the right chargers and all of that. But this is also a really welcome change to the iPhone 17 lineup. So across the board, we're just seeing a lot of improvements that people have already been asking for just general day-to-day life, better battery, better screen, all of that. So I think this again makes it just a lot more worth it this year to get the base model, and you don't even need to get the Pro model for some of these features, which I think is amazing. The camera also got some improvements, so we now have a 48 megapixel ultra wide sensor on the iPhone 17 compared to the 12 megapixel that we previously had, and this is going to be really great also for better macro shots as well, since that also uses the ultra wide lens. We also have a new feature that's coming to all the new iPhones in the lineup, which is dual recording. So this will allow you to record with the back camera and the front camera at the same time. This is going to be really nice if you want to record maybe like reaction videos, maybe if you're like at a concert or something. This is just going to be a really nice option for that. So this feature is coming to all the new iPhones. And also we have some great new improvements with the front facing camera, again across all the iPhones. So the front facing camera is now 18 megapixels compared to 12 megapixels, and we also now have a square sensor. So what this basically means is now when you're taking a selfie or a video with a front facing camera, you do not need to turn your phone landscape to get a wider shot. So since it's a square sensor, you will be able to hold your phone vertically and just take like a regular vertical selfie, or you can switch manually or automatically to a horizontal selfie even while keeping your phone in the same orientation. This feature they're calling center stage, and I'm pretty sure you can toggle this on or off in the camera app, but when it detects you have more people coming into the frame of a selfie, it will automatically switch to maybe a horizontal wider shot. So this is going to be super helpful for bigger shots. You don't have to readjust your phone, the camera won't be off to the one side. Very great that this feature is coming to all the new iPhones in the lineup. So those are all the major new changes that's coming to the iPhone 17 that I think is important to take note of. Of course, we have some other basic changes like a new chipset, the A19, which will help with better performance and all that. Also, the base storage for all the models of iPhone is now 256 gigabytes compared to 128 gigabytes for last year. So you'll have some extra storage, and it still starts at the same price of $799. So those are all the changes for the iPhone 17. Then Apple released and announced the whole new iPhone Air, not 17 Air, just iPhone Air. And this is an insanely thin new design for iPhone that we haven't seen before. It's 5.6 millimeters thin, which is insanely thin. And I know a lot of people are worried about durability, and of course we won't be able to really know how durable it is until people start getting them in hand and are able to test them out. Maybe jerry-rig anything will start bending it or whatever, but they're saying that it is a very durable iPhone. It has their new ceramic shield too at the front and the back, so it's supposed to hold up even though it is super thin. But the design just looks absolutely gorgeous. It also comes in 4 beautiful colors. So we have the space black, the cloud white, light gold, which I think is my favorite, and then the sky blue. So a beautiful color range for the iPhone Air. Now, of course, with a phone this thin, you have some sacrifices that you're gonna have to make. So one of those being battery life. Basically, all the internals of the phone are supposed to be in this top camera portion of the phone, and then the rest is for the battery. So they say that it will get up to 27 hours of video playback time, which is the same that I currently have on my iPhone 16 Pro. So if that is true, that would be really impressive. They're saying all day battery. Again, that really depends on what you're doing throughout the day. That can mean anything. But if they pull that off, that's going to be really nice. But I kind of doubt it, because in the same breath of saying all that, they announced that they have made a special MagSafe battery pack for the iPhone Air. So this doesn't work on the other iPhones, which kind of sucks. It's supposed to give you some extra battery juice, and it just fits with MagSafe on the back of the iPhone Air. And another thing that I'm really skeptical about with the battery life is we did switch to the aluminum frame for the iPhone 17 and the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max because it's supposed to help with managing heat and just improve battery life also. But the iPhone Air still has a titanium frame, so that is also like an interesting thing to note. We also do get the A19 Pro chip on the iPhone Air, which is the same chip that we're getting in the Pro models this year as well. So obviously that's maybe to manage battery life better, since that chip is just better at managing performance. But yeah, we have that with the iPhone Air. I find it really interesting where they're placing this phone pricing wise, since it is $999, so it is more expensive than the base model's iPhone 17, but it's less expensive than the Pros, of course. So it's right there in the middle, but it's missing some features that I think make it worth its price point. So some other sacrifices that we're seeing with the Air is, like, of course we have less battery life, but we also have slower charging speeds for the Air. And also we just have one speaker. We don't have stereo speakers like on the other phones, which I was really debating getting the Air until I heard that spec, which is kind of insane that we're missing a speaker for a $1,000 phone basically. So that is another sacrifice. And then also we only have one camera lens on this phone. Of course, we still have all the new features that I mentioned, like the dual recording and also the square and larger sensor for the front-facing camera. But now the back camera is a 48 megapixel sensor, so it is a nice, good quality camera, but we don't have an ultra wide sensor, which really sucks. So you can't get that 0.5, which I know a lot of people love. And of course we don't have the telephoto, which will give you the zoom that you get on the Pro models, which I will be getting to. But you just have your standard 48 megapixel camera, which can give you 1 to 2 times zoom, and then all the different lens options. But yeah, another sacrifice kind of that we're getting with this $1,000 iPhone. So yeah, that's the iPhone Air, a very interesting new addition to the lineup. I'm really interested to see how sales will do with this phone. I'm sure the biggest selling point for this phone is just gonna be the beautiful thin design, and just when you're holding it in store, I'm pretty sure you're gonna want to get this phone. But there are just a few things, like I already mentioned, to note that might make it not worth the price. Then we have the new iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. And right off the bat, of course, the biggest change we see is this new design with the camera. So it has this extended bar at the top. And again, they made this so that a lot of the internals are stored in this thicker camera bump. And then the rest of the phone is for the battery. And we also now have a vapor chamber in the iPhone 17 Pro lineup, which is the first time we're seeing this this on an iPhone ever. So this will of course help with managing temperatures for the iPhone so it doesn't overheat as much. And like I already mentioned, we now have an entire metal aluminum body, except for the one portion of the back, which is the ceramic shield. So again, all of this helps with managing heat dissipation and just keeping the phone nice and cool for better battery life and better performance. Like I already mentioned with the iPhone 17, the ceramic shield is supposed to help a lot with better scratch resistance for the screen, but with the iPhone Air and the Pro models, we have the ceramic shield at the back as well, which will also help, of course, with just having it be more durable. I almost completely forgot to mention we have stunning new colors when it comes to the Pro models. We have this new cosmic orange, which looks very shocking. I don't know if I'm gonna be wanting to get this. I feel like I might get sick of it after a while just because of how shocking it is. But yeah, we have that, and then we just have this deep blue color, which is an okay color, and then we have a basic silver color. Pro models are also thicker this year compared to last year's model, not by a lot, but again, this I think is for better battery life and all that. And battery life did see a great improvement for the Pro models. So the iPhone 17 Pro is said to get up to 33 hours of video playback time, which is a great improvement from the 27 hours that we had on the 16 Pro last year. And then the Pro Max is said to be able to get 39 hours of video playback time. So we have some really great improvements when it comes to battery life for the iPhones. The cameras also improved with the Pro models, so now all three lenses on the phone are 48 megapixels. So with this 48 megapixel fusion telephoto lens, we're supposed to be getting a lot more zoom and better quality with the zooms. So you get up to 8 times optical zoom and then something like 40 times digital zoom. And of course, this just looks overall way better quality than what we had with previous generations. So this will obviously be something that I'm gonna have to test out, but yeah, definitely better cameras on this phone as well. And again, all the same front-facing camera improvements and features that we have, and the center stage. And of course, we do get the new base storage option of 256 gigabytes on the new Pro models as well, but we do have a price increase. So the 17 Pro will start at basically $1,100, and then the Pro Max will start at $1,200. So that's the entire new lineup of iPhones that were released. And if you're wondering which one is the right one for you to get, I think, like I said, the iPhone 17 is going to be a great option for most people. It has great cameras, great battery life, the screen improvements and everything like that is amazing for it. So I think that's going to be the option for most people. The iPhone Air is really hard for me to place. Like I said, I was really considering getting this over the Pro model until I heard a bit more about it. A part of me still really wants to get that like beautiful design, the thin design, all that, the pretty colors. But I think logically in my brain, I just cannot justify spending that price point for a phone that has a few missing features that I think I'm gonna miss overall. So iPhone Air, it's gonna be for the enthusiast who doesn't really care for all the Pro features and the Pro camera and all that, and maybe just cares a bit more than the person that wants the iPhone 17, maybe about the design and all that. So hard to place, but let me know your thoughts on the iPhone Air. And then of course we have the Pro phone with the great cameras, and I think this is just gonna be great for anyone who's looking for good performance, great camera quality. A lot of creators, of course, are gonna want this phone. That's probably why I'm gonna be getting the Pro model. Color-wise, still unsure, probably gonna go for the silver. But yeah, that is the new lineup of iPhones. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, leave comments down below letting me know all your thoughts on the new phones. I'd love to hear them. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Bye!